these so that I can get some shading for some of these plants because the sun is really, really hot. And a lot of the new seedlings um, will actually die from the heat of the sun. So when you go through all of that work to really sprout and germinate in seeds, especially if they're organic seeds, to lose them to the sun, that's no bueno. So instead of buying screen all the time, which I've done, I look for creative ways to use some of the things that are around me. If I was in a city, I would do the same thing with pallets. And I've done the same thing with pallets, old olive buckets, drilling holes in them and using them for compost and other things. So I've come up with several different systems for all my greens over here. So this is life everlasting or leaf of life. It's the same thing. And there's some kale. I don't know if you can even see that I've replanted in here. Over here in bags in that little forest underneath the screen. And then there's some spinach growing in here, some peppers, and there's some corn that's growing over there. So really making use of what's available over here. So I've got a lot of stuff covered up. And then I just really trimmed off this oregano bush over here. So it's a good idea to make use of whatever you have available. Ooh, drop the leaf of life. To make use of whatever is available to you to really keep your costs down. Interesting. This is leaf of life, a life everlasting. And this is a very interesting plant because when it drops down, it will start to sprout right from the leaves and grow another plant right from the leaves. So anywhere that this drops, it starts to regenerate life. So that's really nice. It's called leaf of life, life everlasting. Actually, it's really used for poultices. And it's also used for bronchitis. And a poultice is like you can take different herbs and you can mash them into a pulp and you can put them on areas that are swollen or inflamed and wrap cotton or cheesecloth around them. That would be a poultice. So there are different parts of the plant you can use: the stem, the leaf, the bark, right? The tree and the bark. Sometimes the fruits and the flowers of the plant. So we can use all different types of plants. And anything that's dropped down, that is sprouted up a lot of plants. So right now, there's some lettuce and things that are here, and other things that you can't. You're not able to see that good, but a lot of the plants will start to bolt, or they will go too rapidly through the growing process because this heat is so intense. So it's really interesting. Some stuff you can read in books. But there's so much to learn just from putting your plants into the soil. So I was saying, thinking earlier as I saw these coconut palms on neighbors. A neighbor had cleared them off of his coconut tree. And whenever I ride past pieces of plants and stuff, because it's plentiful here, and people will just trim it so they can keep growing. And I asked if I could have them. They were like, sure. Then I'm just like, garbage. But you can really recycle this instead of me buying more screen. I can use this to cover some of the plants. So I have sage and some lemon basil over here just to cut some of the direct sunlight that's going onto the plants that would dry my plants out because the sun is too intense, especially if the plants are baby plants. So you can really recycle and reuse whatever's in the environment instead of going out. Let's say, for example, the bucket that I've been using to compost finally gave out. And sometimes the sun can make your flower pots and your compost pots or whatever plastic can break down in the sun. But some of the old buckets, they had some stuff that wasn't that great, but I didn't care. It was an old bucket and it was free. I paid, let's say, $10 to $12 for that, at least $10, $12 for one bucket. But when that one broke down, I got an even heavier duty bucket that I recycled for probably $3. And that would probably be half price in US dollars. So and sometimes you can even find things, let's say when some of the bigger stores are getting rid of cardboard boxes or pallets, sometimes you can even offload some of that stuff for free. So as many people can see on YouTube and other places, there's so much you can do with pallets. You can make furniture. I've used it. I wouldn't say I'm the most skilled builder, but I'm somebody I'm pretty creative. So I've taken bricks and some chicken wire, although I don't have chickens. Neighbors have chickens and roosters. Um, but I took bricks, pallets, wire, and twine to make a 3-bin compost system. And I think I even added on one. And the pallets weren't in the bestest shape, but I got to reuse them as opposed to going to, I can even imagine going to a store and buying a whole compost system. So there's so many things that we can use on the internet in terms of educating ourselves. And then it's a matter of just getting out there and not being afraid to quote unquote fail. Because I don't know if we get that from school or society, but we're so scared to do something. If you do something and it doesn't come out quite the way you expected or the way you planned, at least you get some more information. You know what not to do the next time when you see where you missed the mark or where you can readjust. But you can be sure that you're going to learn something if you at least make the effort. For example, when I'm weeding now, there was a time I didn't know any of the plants, the weeds from the vegetable or the real plant, and I just learned over time. I still don't know everything, but I've learned quite a lot. And every day I come out and I look at the garden, I learn something else. So I encourage everybody to grow something. Everybody can grow something. Is everybody growing some kind of something? I hope so. So these are also some chives and some sage, which I just transplanted. I'm also learning certain herbs you can replant when they're a certain size. Can't be too small. They have to start to have germinated, but there's some plants that just don't like to be moved. I have learned also that certain plants don't like to be moved at a certain time of the day, which to me is amazing because they're literally living beings. So if you move certain plants, the heat of your hands can shock the plant as well as the heat of the environment. Then if you pull it out really rough, and then if the roots of the plant are exposed to the air, all of these things are sending this being into shock, if you will. So it can really kill the plant, which is humbling and really amazing. So I've watched a couple of herbs that were doing really well pass and transition. Some I've been able to bring back several times, but just from moving them to another area of sunlight or too much water, too little water. So it's really something, it makes me again, brings me back to functional movement and physical fitness and dance, which is one of my first loves, which is why functional movement is so important because it makes you think. It's just like it's real life as opposed to just exercising or doing something just for sheer vanity. I find that I get some more out of it. Oops, and I see a pepper plant. It's getting a little smushed over here. So I gotta find a way to set this so that it's not smashing the plant, but it's still providing some kind of shade. And I still have plenty of things in bags, but also I've taken a lot of the things that were in bags. A lot of the bags started to break down. So a lot of them, I got I got a lot of tires, and I've transitioned a lot of those plants down to tires. Still have to research the tires because some research says that that tires over time can gas or give off certain kinds of chemicals. So what I did, just using my intuition, I rinsed them with a hose, washed them out, and then lined them with cardboard and lots of old grass and some compost, and then put the soil in, then put the plant. Most of the plants were okay with it. There are a couple of plants, baby fruit trees, that did not like it. So um, can't be afraid to quote unquote to fail. Maybe we need a different word, or to try things and it may not turn out the way that you want it, but at least you learn something. Yeah, there are other life experiences that I've learned did not turn out the way that I wanted them to. But just like with the garden, you just readjust and move forward. And the garden, I think, is a really beautiful buffer. They don't complain. The plants don't try to scan you. They give you immediate feedback, and it's something all human beings can relate to, right? Because these are like the lungs of the planet, right? So, this is a quick share today. Keeps their thinking cap on, gets out into the garden, get some sunshine on your skin wherever you are, make the best of whatever you have, whatever situation you are, and create a great day on purpose. Take care.